this is Mystery MTG Damien, and let me help you become more informed about competitive Magic. Let's jump into it. The Pioneer Regional Championship season continues to build after it kicked off last weekend with a bevy of high-level tournaments from all over the world. Now, while this weekend wasn't quite so busy, there were still a number of high-level tournaments being held in different regions all over, as well as a number of high-profile events on Magic Online, including challenges, a super qualifier, and a couple preliminaries. That means a lot of deck data to pore over, as well as metagame shifts to consider. With the Pioneer metagame looking very diverse, with every major archetype represented, from aggro to mid-range to control to combo, it's a great time to jump into the format, as there will almost certainly be a deck to suit everyone's tastes. Now, let's dive deeper into a few of the top-performing decks from this past weekend's high-level events. Rakdos Sacrifice. While Rakdos Sacrifice has taken a bit of a backseat to big sister Rakdos Midrange over the past couple of months, this weekend showed that the Cat Oven combo is still very much a contender in the Pioneer metagame, with the deck putting up a solid near 60% win rate across most events. This version of Rakdos is sleek and sexy, skating by with just 22 lands and a low curve with plenty of 1-drops that tops out at just 3 mana. Cauldron Familiar and Unlucky Witness do the heavy lifting, becoming food for Witch's Oven or fodder for Deadly Dispute, while also draining the opponent and drawing cards. The deck also gets to play the best disruption in the format in Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, with Claim the Firstborn being an excellent removal spell in its own right in the deck, allowing you to steal and sacrifice your opponent's creature to Witch's Oven. Between the countless Cauldron Familiar and Mayhem Devil triggers, and a few swings with a Bloodtithe Harvester, Fable of the Mirror Breaker token, or the excellent creature lands Den of the Bugbear and Hive of the Eye Tyrant, it's not difficult to get your adversaries to 0 very quickly. The new Furnace Rains makes an appearance in the sideboard in order to deal with Atraxa Grand Unifier and other large creatures that may dodge Claim the Firstborn and Fatal Push, while the rest of the slots are dedicated to fighting off combo and control decks. If you love a consistent, powerful, synergy-based deck, take Rakdos Sac for a spin. Izzet Blitz. A new look for an old archetype, Izzet Blitz, aka Izzet Drakes, aka Izzet Spells, is an aggressive, low-to-the-ground deck trying to cast a pile of cheap 1-mana instants and sorceries, such as Consider, Fiery Impulse, Opt, Strangle, Fading Hope, etc., and then end the game with a giant Crackling Drake or Blitz of the Thunder Raptor backed up by Spell Pierce. Ledger Shredder is another cheap, proactive threat which provides velocity and helps fill the graveyard with spells. Treasure Cruise is almost always doing its best Ancestral Recall impression at 1 mana in this deck, which keeps the gas flowing in order to bury your opponents. There's always plenty of fuel to find as the deck runs only 19 land plus 2 MDFCs in Spikefield Hazard, giving it quite a high spell density, with the sideboard stocked with additional counter magic for the control matchup in Mystical Dispute and Disdainful Stroke, more removal against aggro in Abrade, Brotherhood's End, and Aethergust, as well as disruption against the Lotus Field decks in Alpine Moon. This proactive deck is set up very nicely to punish any decks that don't give it the respect it's due. Azorius Spirits. The Spirit deck comes in many forms in Pioneer, from Mono Blue to Azorius to Bant, but thus far this regional championship season, it's been the blue-white builds that have seen the most success. Another low-curve, sleek 22-land aggro tempo deck. Azorius Spirits' plan is to flash in a cheap spirit like Rattlechains or even a Spectral Sailor on the opponent's first end step, then untap into Curious Obsession, plus interactive spells like Geistlight Snare, Lofty Denial, or Slip Out the Back ready to protect the now obsessed spirit. A simple plan, but very difficult to undo, as many of the creatures in the deck aren't only evasive attackers, but also serve to protect your other key spirits by either giving them hexproof like Rattlechains, or countering an opponent's spell like Spell Queller or Mausoleum Wanderer. The deck is also capable of doing a lot of damage very quickly, with every single creature having flying, Supreme Phantom pumping the team, and Shacklegeist tapping down your opponent's blockers with reach. A pair of Mutavault also count as spirits and help the deck cross the finish line in a pinch. The sideboard shores up the match against other aggro decks with 4 Portable Hole, and against control with cards like Wedding Announcement and Invasion of Gobakhan. If you want to take an aggressive tribal-based tempo deck to your local tournament, look no further than Azorius Spirits. Grinning Ignus combo. Actually, while it may seem like a meme deck, Grinning Ignus combo decks are surprisingly powerful and can blindside opponents, as many of them won't know what's going on until it's too late. The deck aims to put Burgi, God of Storytelling, into play, followed up by a Grinning Ignus. Casting the Ignus will trigger the Burgi, allowing the pilot to use the single free red mana to activate the Ignus, returning it to hand to make 3 mana, thus providing the mana to cast it again, and again, and again. Another way to achieve this is with Runaway Steamkin, Grinning Ignus, and 3 red mana. These infinite loops of Ignus entering the battlefield and leaving over and over again can be combined with several other cards to produce infinite resources. Having a Risen Reef in play along with Burgi and Ignus allows the pilot to draw infinite cards. Yes, Grinning Ignus is an elemental. With Prosperous Innkeeper in play, it's infinite life. With a powerful creature like Defiler of Instinct or Devilish Valet in play, it's infinite damage. Hazoret's Monument not only makes the combo much easier to pull off, as all the combo pieces are red creatures, it also lets you dig through the deck to find the Defilers or Valet to end the game. Collected Company acts as an instant speed way to put the combo pieces into play on your opponent's end step in order for you to untap and go off, which gives the deck a surprise factor that catches many unsuspecting players off guard. Like every combo deck, learning the play patterns and many lines the deck can take to achieve victory against the other most played archetypes is how to succeed with this list. If you want to try your hand at a powerful combo deck that will generally take most players by complete surprise, give the Grinning Ignus combo deck a whirl.